that shit's by a guy I know.
It's gotta, yeah.
ADC.
Ooh, yeah, dig it.
ADC.
Let me tell you something, ADC.
He watches wrestling.
Matt the Mark is also
Do you know
model.
your ADCs, the ADCs of wrestling?
Welcome to the ADCs of Wrestling, the Brock Lesnar of wrestling podcasts. We're back when we feel like it, I guess. We'll give it a shot. You know, we'll try to do this thing once again. I'm your host, Andrew David Cox, the Weird Al of wrestling, sometimes. Also Mr. Some Days Off, most of the time. Yep. And I am joined by 2/3 of the best podcast in the world, Matt the Mark. How's it going, Matty?
Doing great, man. Finally figuring out that we can do this every other week. I don't know.
Yeah. So I guess I should touch on that right off the top of the show. I don't know why it's been so hard. I hate that it's been so difficult. It really bothers me. I wish we could be here every single week to chat with you guys.
Every
and I could
day.
Still put out, sure, every damn day. Every day. And I would love to be able to do that and still do some parodies and still have a lot of fun. But I feel like, honestly, ever since we started doing the pod, any momentum and ground I had started to make up with my parodies and stuff has really kind of been negated by trying to watch the show and do a podcast.
Yeah.
And just regular life has gotten in the way. Like right now I'm recording this, but I have to go rifling through tax documents to call my mortgage guy and try to pack all my stuff up and get to work in time today. And then I'm going to be there until like 2 a.m. So real life is hitting me pretty hard. So I'm going to be looking at something different. Maybe it's something along the lines of we just do like a pay-per-view preview podcast every month, and I try to, get together some actual good bits so that the shows are really can't miss every time. You know what I mean? Like, we'll see what we can think up, but I'm going to look at doing it differently. Or we'll just keep doing it whenever we feel like it and whenever the show's actually, going to be worth you guys giving it a download so that you don't get, half-ass shows like this week where I have no comedy.
We'll figure it out.
I'll be funny. I'll say stuff. Hey, Braun Strowman, how are your knees? Right?
Well, I heard he might be hurt.
Have you seen Baron Corbin? Ow, 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 ow. Where's Baron?
He didn't look comfortable running. I'll definitely say that.
Ow, 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 ow. Corbin.
Maybe
that was my favorite part of Raw was how he had to slow down to catch up to that limo.
Oh.
Or not catch up to the limo.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Like a little stutter step. He's like,
Oh, no, I'm going to catch that motherfucker.
I'm too fast. I'm too fast.
Anyway, I guess this week on the show, are you ready for like a full recap in detail of Crown Jewel, Maddie? We're going to talk about it, in depth.
Yeah, I totally watched every single minute of it.
Me too.
So let's break it down.
Yeah, let's break it down.
Oh, no. See, I don't want to do it now.
Okay, we won't. Let's just not.
All right,
we'll
fair
skip
enough.
it. That's why I said break it down, and so we won't talk about Crown Jewel.
I mean, there's probably a couple things that leaked into Raw that we'll touch on, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
But,
so we're gonna have a couple quick news and notes for you. We're gonna talk about Raw and SmackDown Live, as we are like 3 weeks away from Survivor Series.
2 weeks.
All of a sudden, 2
weeks. I think it's 2
weeks.
weeks.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that came up fast.
And, of course, we're going to have just 2 tweets, as per usual. But first and foremost, Matty, did you enjoy Evolution? Because we kind of dropped the ball on an Evolution pod last week.
Yeah, but you know what? We did a pod right before it, and listening back, like we were not that enthused about it. We were pretty negative about each match that was going to be there. But, man, did it ever deliver. To me, it's the best pay-per-view that they've done all year, outside of NXT, but... It was it was phenomenal.
Main roster show.
Happy.
It was way up there. You're right.
Yeah.
It was much better than I expected. A lot of people, rightfully so, are calling Charlotte versus Becky Lynch one of the main roster matches of the year.
Oh, absolutely.
Possibly the main roster match of the year. Maybe not NXT quality because obviously it's hard to touch Gargano and Ciampa and what they're doing, but they got as close as possible. Especially for 2 ladies who haven't really done anything like that before, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think like Charlotte's had some Falls Count Anywhere matches with Sasha and so on. Like I still always remember.
Hell in a Cell too.
Yeah, and I'll always remember Charlotte just getting all mangled in between like the stair rails and stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
She's been through it, but that being said, this was still, like you said, it could be up there for match of the year on the main card.
Yeah, you're right. Charlotte's been there before. She put on a couple classics with Becky. Hell in a Cell was a bit underwhelming. This match was overwhelming.
Yeah,
good. It was really great. The rest of the card, Trish and Lita, they were there. I felt like they got a decent reaction from the crowd. It was what it was. Was there anything else like super memorable on the show? The Battle Royal was just the Battle Royal.
I don't know.
The NXT title match, that was good.
I didn't feel like that about the Battle Royal. It was way more entertaining than I was expecting. It was great to see Ember Moon, kind of make it all the way to the end. Obviously, she's been pretty well squashed the last 2 weeks after that. Right. But that being said, like even with Trish and Lita, we were talking about, they've lost momentum. They've been on the show too much. When their music came out and they actually came to the ring, I actually the nostalgia kicked in for me and I actually had goosebumps. So it ended up being a way better match than expecting. The outcome was exactly what we thought was going to happen, but that's fine. Then the 6-woman tag with Riot Squad and Natty, and so every match was really well put together. It was a lot of fun. Even Ronda and Nikki at the end, I thought that was going to be a dumper of a match, and it ended up being way more entertaining than I thought. So
yeah, I told you that match would be okay.
You did. You really did. I thought you were out of your damn mind, but overall, just the pay-per-view delivered for me. I thought it was just fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say it was a great match, and obviously they were well outshined by what probably should have been the main event of the card, but we know Raw comes after SmackDown. That's how it goes, or above SmackDown. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
It's got priority, so that's just how it works. It was good. It was
fun,
good.
man. I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's the one pay-per-view that I've watched live, not on PVR. So, and I didn't feel like I wanted to stop watching either.
Yeah.
Which was,
it was
pretty
paced
impressive.
well too. Despite the reports of Vince being backstage and everything at the event, it kind of felt like an NXT Takeover special because there wasn't a whole lot of downtime in between. There weren't any just last-minute filler matches that showed up on what should have been a 2-hour card that ended up being 4.5 hours. It was cool, and it had that house show feel because since they were on the road with the brands and everything, and the show wasn't originally on the schedule, they sort of had to put together an aesthetic from house show pieces that they have. They had the actual steel guardrails on the side. They had
but
a
stuff like that I loved.
Set.
I thought it was perfect. Cool. Yeah. And shutting the lights off too on the crowd. That's always something I've loved about NXT pay-per-views. So yeah,
that's what it was like when we went to that Roadblock show. Remember?
Yeah, it makes it. I don't know. It makes it feel more intimate.
No, more sports.
Yeah. Anyways, overall it was fantastic. I loved it. I was way more impressed. I like
the boards too, the LED display.
Totally.
The stage.
Yep. I thought the stage was great. We haven't seen it. It's different than what they take on the road house show wise. So I was thoroughly impressed. I hope we see more of it, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, Evolution was a pay-per-view. And that's probably the last time I'll sing that to you.
You know what I will say is it was great that they did some behind the scenes stuff, and really Triple H was kind of held out of it. He didn't put his face in there until right at the end when all the women were on stage, and you could see Triple H running out from the back. It looked like he was shoving people. It's like, I'm the boss. Put me at the front. So,
wait a minute. I need my camera time.
Yeah.
But what did you think of that curtain call at the end of the show? I can't help but they just have to admit that I didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't like it either because Charlotte was out there, looked like she just had the crap kicked out of her, and Becky came out after.
Charlotte looked okay, and that match was so grueling. She really shouldn't have been okay.
She was sweating, but she was smiling. But at the same time, I don't think you ever see that again. I think because this was the first one that's the only reason they did it. You'll never see it again. They basically said, screw kayfabe for right now. Let's go out and do a curtain call. And
they're killing the business. You're pulling back the curtain, motherfuckers.
Just because of what it was, it didn't bother me that much.
Yeah, it was all right. Well, I guess that's that. Some sad news yesterday. Jose Super Sock Lothario passed away at 83 years old on Tuesday. If you remember the boyhood dream era of Shawn Michaels, his trainer, never really worked in storyline. I mean, it did when I was a kid, but the more I think about it, the more this weird, sexy boy, cocky Shawn Michaels character being paired with Jose Lothario. And from what I read about how Shawn wasn't even really thrilled with having him along with him for that run, didn't really work out. But I remember it very well, that whole storyline, the vignettes of Shawn training in San Antonio with his former teacher and his mentor, Jose Super Sock Lothario. So condolences to his family and a legend in Mexico.
Yeah, and there was a lot of some outpouring support from from current roster. And, it's always a sad thing. We've seen a lot, I feel like, this year. So, I don't know. I guess these guys are just getting old, right?
Well, at least he's 83. It seems like it's kind of a natural thing. So that's always a good thing, I guess. Triple H underwent successful surgery to repair a ripped pectoral he sustained at Crown Jewel in that main event we both totally watched.
Yuck. So I didn't, obviously, I like, full disclosure, did not watch Crown Jewel. I saw a lot of like, that match was terrible.
Wait, what?
And, you know.
What?
Steve didn't watch it either, let's be honest.
Oh, goddamn, I did too. I watched that shit.
Yeah, what happened, Steve?
What happened was I had a few margaritas and then...
Oh, I see.
I went to the bathroom and then it was over.
Yeah, fair enough.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, no, I was reading a lot of like, that pedigree looked terrible and that throw into the guardrail was what happened. But then, I mean, you see the picture afterwards, you're like, how was he still even in the ring? That's outrageous.
Yeah. I hate that Shawn Michaels came back and I didn't watch it. But
I have no desire.
Like,
I have no desire to watch it. I did see a picture of him and he wasn't wearing that stupid do-rag thing that he wears, and he looked way more normal. So
yeah, he looks more normal, but still, for whatever reason, and this is coming from a bald man, it just looks like a different person.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know what it is. It's just like it's totally not Shawn Michaels anymore. He looks better than the really worn down balding Shawn Michaels, but he just doesn't look like the same guy. It felt like a totally different person.
It did.
It was weird.
It did, but you know what? He got paid, so be it. It sounds.
Oh, he totally got paid.
I mean,
He got paid.
He got paid. He said that was his going to be like, this isn't a return. It was kind of a one-off, but
yeah, it was a return, you son of a bitch.
But of course, then there's rumors out there about future matches and stuff. So until we see it,
I think we see a Mania match. I think that
I do
there's
too.
so much controversy tied to this return, and he's kind of sullied a bit of his reputation as far as, being so steadfast about never coming back for a match and then coming back for a big payday in Saudi Arabia on a show that everybody is really just shat all over.
Yeah.
I think that he's probably going to want to kind of erase that and have like a one-on-one match at WrestleMania with somebody like an AJ Styles or something good.
Yeah.
Or maybe Hunter. I don't know. That would kind of suck.
No, that would be stupid.
Maybe Undertaker again too, which is possible, even though it would suck.
No, I think WWE can't retire Undertaker again, but I think I'm over it. I think I'm done with Taker.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been over it for a while, aside from the parodies. See, if I had the time and the effort this week, Undertaker would have been showing up. The music would have been playing. He would have been saying some dumb shit, but it's just not going to happen. Not this week.
Either way, I mean...
Hey, speaking of saying dumb shit, Hulk Hogan was at Crown Jewel.
Oh, my God.
What'd you think about that, Manny? The return of Hulkster, brother. They went all in, Jack. And now everybody that's ever been wrong is showing up in a WWE ring, baby.
I don't know why he said baby. He's like Jimmy Hart, Hulk Hogan now. He's both at once.
Yeah. So they said he was the host or whatever, right?
Yeah. His hosting gig. Yeah,
did he do
of saying
anything
like 3 things.
Other than like being introduced at the beginning? Did he do anything else throughout the show?
No, that was it.
That was it. Okay.
Yep. And he was really glad to welcome all the people of Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
That location on the map, Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the east.
Did they mention Saudi Arabia at all throughout the show?
No, apparently it just said Riyadh in a little key at the top of the screen at the beginning of the broadcast, and that was it.
Interesting.
And they went to speak of Crown Jewel as if it were a place.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about.
All my Hulkamaniacs in Crown Jewel, brother.
Did you see his tweet last week about saying his pythons are too big for the rest of the roster? He's got to trim down.
I mean, he's a clown on Twitter, though. I mean, it's really hard to take seriously anything he says, considering that he likes to put like a space and then a comma right before the next sentence, and there's never a period. And then he keeps saying things, man. He'll just type things really fast, like verbal diarrhea, brother. And then he'll just say HH at the end, man. And that's all you got to do, Jack. What you gonna do when Twitter confuses you?
Yeah, I feel like maybe just because of everything that's happened with him, it just comes off worse every time he's a quote-unquote clown.
He's trying to have fun, but it's just like, what a dick.
Yeah, I don't know. And then you see some guys like actually not quote-unquote not commenting on it, but commenting on it. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm just wondering if it leads anywhere.
You wonder how much of that he really believes. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, I look great, brother.
He can't believe that.
He's
I mean, I saw
65.
pictures. There's no way he believes he's quote unquote bigger than the current roster.
He's 65.
Yeah.
He looks good for a 65-year-old.
Yeah,
but
done
he's
well.
65.
Do you think we see him wrestle?
I don't know. I could see him, throwing a big boot and dropping one more leg, brother, at WrestleMania. But I don't think he could ever wrestle again.
I'm over these old guys wrestling.
Any doctor in the world would tell him never do another leg drop. You've shrunk 3 inches by just compacting your spine into your pelvis for years. Anyway, I guess we should probably talk about this week in wrestling, right? Because this show is over and done with, and we've all washed our hands of it and moved on.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Raw and SmackDown focused mainly on forming Survivor Series teams for the men, women, and I guess tag teams, which was sort of became evident on SmackDown last night. I didn't even know they were doing that. But, I guess we can start with the Raw women's team, which is captained by a seemingly injured Alexa Bliss, who I guess is going to play kind of like the captain / like women's GM role for a bit. She came out kind of in her business attire as well.
Yeah, I mean,
looking as only Bliss can look.
She's a big part of that division, right? So her not being able to wrestle sucks. So how else do you get her in there? You let her captain the team and just not wrestle. So I mean, it makes sense.
And there's some rumors and some reports out there that she may be injured for a while, but I don't know if I fully believe them all because it may be fake news. But
God,
SmackDown,
I hate you so much.
went ahead and picked most of their team. So Carmella, Naomi, Sonya Deville, much to the chagrin of a very sassy Mandy Rose, and Asuka are going to be the women's team. And then to be announced, well, not to be announced, but it's most likely Charlotte because they announced her and she never showed up.
Yeah. I have an issue with this because the Raw team wasn't announced. We got a GM. But the men had like qualifying matches or competitive matches. The women's team was just named.
Yeah.
Especially like we're a week and a half out from the biggest women's only pay-per-view and they don't even get a match to lead.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
it was weird. I'm thinking maybe next week the Raw women might do some qualifiers or something to kind of rectify that. I get the whole SmackDown.
There's not a lot of
mindset.
time, right? There's a whole
because
hour
they're like
they
a
don't
2-hour
have.
show. But
you're
right. It's weird.
We couldn't get one. I don't know. I don't know. It bugged me. It actually really bugged me. For some reason. I
totally got it too. I'm like, so they're just going to come out here and parade them back to back. Like, so Paige just got to make this decision. Like, why didn't Paige pick the men's team as well?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Super weird.
Why
But
are they
anyways,
so segregated?
I guess maybe it's a time constraint. Maybe we see a match for that 5th spot for, like if Charlotte is still down on her luck and doesn't feel like she should be part of the team. I don't know. Maybe we see a competition there.
I don't see how you go though. But how do you go without it being Charlotte?
Well, I think she gets in the match and she wins, and that's how she gets her confidence back.
Right.
Like, I'm just kind of spewing out my butt here, but...
Gross, man. Are you okay? Do you want to end the pod?
That's a terrible...
hell, shit.
Pod's
man.
over.
That's happened to me once during a match. I just had to smile, grin, and bear it and get through it.
Oh.
You just got to get your shit in and get over it and go home, kid.
Interesting. Yeah. All right.
Steve knows.
I hope we see a match. That's all I'm going to say. Just give us one for crying out loud.
You know when guys are out and under the ring and they're going to do a spot later, you know there's a bucket for that? They got a monitor and a bucket. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Steve shit his pants in the ring? Is that where we're going with this?
If you ever shit your pants in a match, then give me a hell yeah.
Just me. All right.
I'm going to shit my pants during this podcast, and that's the bottom line. Because Basement Steve said so.
Okay.
All right. Should we move on?
Are Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose going to battle it out for their spot? Are they going to break up based on this or what?
I hope they don't break up. They'd be a wicked tag team. But if this leads
Mandy's super jelly, though.
If this leads to a push for Mandy, which it kind of like she got all the mic time, I'm okay with that. Mandy's awesome. So
She is awesome.
She's a great wrestler. She was okay on the mic, but hasn't had a lot of time. And
yeah, I saw some tweets before I'd seen it, people saying Mandy Rose on the mic with little fire emojis and stuff, and I was expecting way more. I just all I heard was kind of scripted digs.
Yeah.
When I heard her come out and talk, so
neither her or Sonya really get a chance to talk much. So maybe this is the start. Maybe this is the push, and
baby steps.
If it's Mandy, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, shut up, Matt. As far as the men go, Team Raw with Baron Corbin. I don't know if he's going to be part of the team, but I would assume he will be in some capacity.
I mean, he said he wasn't going to be.
Yeah,
and then Kurt challenged him for captaincy.
Captain Kurt captaincy.
Yeah,
Raw captain's log, superstar date, something on the USS Entertainment Prize.
I mean, it sounds like you have a parody right there. You're
it
just saying
does.
how
Captain
you're running
Kurt.
out of ideas.
Yeah.
That seems like a pretty good parody right there. Of course, you've got 2 weeks to do it, so good luck.
Yeah.
Our attempts to become captain were foiled by the Corbinians.
Do you think we're going to see a separation of Drew McIntyre and Dolph?
I mean, eventually. So Team Raw consists of Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, if his knees can heal up in time, and a to-be-announced member, and then another to-be-announced member, likely to be Kurt Angle as GM, if I believe how they're trying to tell the story. It's going to be kind of a redemption story where he finally climbs that mountain again, I think. And then, I don't know, Bobby Lashley. You got a clean win over
I'm thinking
Finn
Lashley.
Balor. So, yeah, that would make sense. But Drew McIntyre, obviously, I mean, I said it a few weeks ago, this guy is poised for huge things. I mean, they're giving him a clean win over Kurt Angle with Angle's own ankle lock.
Yeah.
Say what you will about Kurt and the condition he's in and how he looked in the ring. Clearly, they were giving one hell of a coup to Drew. So,
wow,
I would be very shocked. I didn't mean to rhyme or sound like a douchebag there. It just happens.
Sure.
This is just how I live my life, sounding like a douche by accident. But, I mean, I give it a year before that guy's holding the Universal Championship, and it's possibly the face of the company. He's a big deal to them backstage.
Yeah, you know, if Brock hadn't won at Crown Jewel, I think I wouldn't even have said a year, but I think we're seeing the start of his very major push right now.
A very rapid descent.
Yeah, I mean, for him to get
a Celtic Colossus,
like for him to come out and quote unquote save Balor and then just turn on him right away, that was amazing. But he was featured a few times on this show, almost Roman-esque.
Yeah.
I could see him being the main, I don't know if he could do heel, but I could see him going to WrestleMania with Brock. So,
yeah, see, against Brock Lesnar, you could definitely turn him babyface.
Yeah.
But
he's got to get away from Dolph if they're going to do that.
Yeah.
Right?
But Dolph is also such a shit stain that it would be so easy to turn yourself face against that guy.
Very true. Just kick him in the face.
You know what, Dolph, shut the fuck up.
And then just give him a Claymore and be like, you're a little bitch, and then walk away.
You're nothing
and then
without
everybody
me.
loves him.
Yeah.
But, I carried
That's
your
true.
blonde bleach ass. But he's such a hulking mass that it's also tough to buy him as ever being in any kind of peril or trouble.
Yeah.
As a babyface. It's the same sort of situation they did face with Roman Reigns. So the only guys that really works against is like a Brock Lesnar or a Braun Strowman because nobody else could terrorize this massive human being. So I could see him starting out as a babyface, maybe turning heel, but I could definitely see him sort of carrying the company's business for a while.
Yeah, totally. Especially with their top guy obviously not around right now. So
yeah. And he's been awesome. Like
He's been amazing.
It's not just they're high on him backstage and this is what's going to happen, folks, whether you like it or not. Roman Reigns is going to be the top guy. Deal with it. It's like Drew McIntyre has been awesome. And I've been on board ever since he came into the main roster. Like, he's a big, scary motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I like him.
He's awesome on the mic. His character is on point. He's great in the ring. He's huge, which obviously everyone knows that's Vince's starting point. So,
my God, the vascularity.
No, I'm on board with your Drew push. That's for sure.
Well, you better be, pal. I'm gonna strap the rocket to him.
I mean, I was talking to you, Andrew, but okay.
Well, if you don't like it, Matt, you're fired.
Cool. You're gonna fire me from a volunteer podcast. Got it.
Dance break.
Not this week.
No.
I'm not up for that level of editing, okay? I'm not inserting a 7-second clip. Oh, my God. Yo, did you see that tweet about Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre and the way they were dressed on Monday?
No. I did not.
You got to look it up. It's Dolph is wearing like that leather coat and the American flag bandana.
Yeah.
And then Drew is wearing the big black duster and his hair is strewn down his face. Mm-hmm. And this one girl tweeted to Dolph, Undertaker 2000 and Undertaker 1999. And it looks like the badass standing beside like the 99 Taker with the tear drawn on his face.
Hey, maybe that's what they're going for.
And Dolph retweeted it with just a ha 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 ha,
awesome.
laughing about it.
That's
It's
awesome.
really funny. It's like a perfect visual. It was when they were all standing on the stage at the beginning of the show.
Which we may talk about it, but that was a cluster. That was so dumb.
Sure, go into it. Do your talking stuff.
You want to talk about that, or do you want to finish out the Team SmackDown here?
No, talk about the Raw team stuff first. Whatever.
What the hell was the start of Raw this week? Like, it was okay because you're starting with Survivor Series, but then you have Braun come out, and then the entire roster just attacks Braun, but then starts beating up each other once he escapes. It's just,
Everybody wants a spot on Team Raw, Matt. It's a coveted position.
But they didn't explain. That's not what happened. It was just the stupidest thing ever. And then it was just over. They just all went backstage like nothing happened.
Yeah, later we were going to talk about Braun terrorizing Baron Corbin, but I can't let this go now. How great was that boot to the chest of the security guard?
He almost
local
killed
talent.
that guy.
I think that's how Braun hurt his knee. I think he was just like, I'm going to kick the shit out of you. Ow, my knee. Where's Baron Corbin? Ow, Corbin. Ow.
I think he's been hurt longer than just Monday, but I saw a lot of, he kicked the soul out of that guy. And it's even funnier if you watch the GIF in fast motion. The guy just gets destroyed.
Yeah, I wish I had that footage for This Is How I Got Over. When I was like doing fast forward shots of Braun just destroying local talent and chucking them over the ring. That'd have been great.
That would have been a good one to get in there.
Was that ow thing? Was that Braun being injured and running away?
Yeah, yes, Steve. That was Braun being injured while walking away.
Goddamn kid, you killed it.
Okay, Steve. He's like jovial.
He's positive
today.
Yeah,
he's having a good
seems
time.
like he's in a good mood.
If you're enjoying today's podcast, then give me a hell yeah.
I'll just assume people reciprocated that. I don't know.
The silence was perfect from our end.
Yeah. I'm not really. I never enjoy myself.
Well, you should probably have a more positive outlook, ADC. And that's the bottom line.
I think I have to side with Steve on that one.
Sage advice.
Yeah. Anyways, you want to talk about Team SmackDown? We can backtrack a second.
Matt, you just told the entire world where I am. That was a weird reference.
Yeah, that was a weird reference.
Team SmackDown. They're playing Daniel Bryan and The Miz off of each other. They're both captains. And
do you like that?
No, they had way too much positive interaction between each other. They were like, this is weird. Why are we friends?
I thought
I hated you.
See, at the start of SmackDown, I was like, oh, this is cool. This could be fun. And then they're joking halfway through and smiling and trying to photobomb. Like, what the hell? I mean, at least Bryan went kind of nuts at the end there, but
he did. So it ended in a real full Donnybrook. So these guys are not getting along.
But
and
it was
it's going to lead to that.
It.
But yeah, it did. But Daniel Bryan and The Miz started to trade fists, and it's like, oh, can these guys ever coexist? How will they be a team come Survivor Series? It's all that bullshit. But,
I like that he just quickly didn't care that it was Shane McMahon, didn't know, quote unquote, but just whipped him over his shoulder. I liked that Daniel Bryan because he didn't get down and be like, oh, sorry, Shane, I didn't realize it was you. He just walked off in a huff. I enjoyed that. I thought that was good.
Yeah, it was fine, I guess. The whole episode, they were doing this whole thing where they're trying to pick sides. Shane McMahon, who is not the best in the world, even though I probably do think I am the best in the world, but I'm not. But I'm the best in the world.
What do you think? What do you think about The Miz calling himself the 2/3 the best of the world.
Well, that's why I called you 2/3 the best of the podcast, because it's full of shit. It's a bunch of bullshit.
Well, there's only 2 of it.
Yeah.
Well,
Goddamn, you got him again.
yeah.
Okay.
But do you kind of hope he keeps going with that? Because I kind of hope he keeps going with that.
Sure, why not?
Just sounds
2/3
funny.
of the best in the world, The Miz.
I liked it. Of course, I like The Miz in everything he does. So.
It's funny, because basically it means that The Miz is the majority holder of that trophy.
Yeah, which is funny. I loved he's like, do I like get the trophy for like 90% of the time?
Yeah, I get it 20 days a month, and then you get the other 10. How do we deal with this?
Yeah. Do you move in with me? I like that.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
That was great. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing was okay, I guess. I thought them picking Shane was just it's just a reach. It's like Shane's doing this again.
Why does he have
just
got to
be there
because
somebody has to be there to nearly die, I guess.
It's just so dumb. It's like, I get why he was that crown jewel because of the Prince and he loves old wrestlers and blah, blah, blah. But now coming back and being on the Survivor Series team, like, there's so much talent on this roster. Why the hell? He's been gone for months and he just comes back and now he's on the SmackDown team.
I didn't like it either, but he's part of it, and we got to deal with it.
Yeah, and that being said, it does sound, there's a lot of rumor out there that this is leading up to a Shane heel turn for the Fox, like the switch over to Fox, which could be interesting. I just don't want to see him wrestle. Like, I don't want to see what we saw in the late 90s, early 2000s with Vince always wrestling, and, well, not always, but you know what I mean. If I'm okay with a heel McMahon. I'm good with that. Just, I don't want to see him in the ring all the friggin' time defending belts and World Cups and all that crap.
Well, yeah. I think as long as Shane can still go, he's going to keep doing the special attraction matches to the point where they're not really special attractions. Rey Mysterio defeated Andrade Cien Almas in one hell of a match, so he's part of the team as well. Great match.
Yeah,
really
I
fun
need to
stuff.
see way more of that.
Yeah, that was great. That move where, you know how Ray does like that sliding splash out of the ring?
Yes, so cool.
Where he like grabbed them in a tornado DDT, even though it was kind of sloppy, it was just innovative and different. And I thought it was pretty entertaining stuff.
Yeah.
Good match, obviously, all around.
It
Almas is a stud, and I think it's nice that they even just put those two in the ring together.
Agree.
And then, obviously, Samoa Joe choking out Jeff Hardy. I couldn't have been happier with the outcome of this match because for some reason, Jeff Hardy just elicits a resounding lack of emotion from me.
I honestly
Total
thought
apathy towards Jeff Hardy.
I thought Joe was going to get buried here so that Hardy could go on. I was so happy that that's not what they did.
Well, they forewent his being added to the team for some other total daredevil who can get his ass kicked in Shane McMahon. So I guess that's what we get.
Yeah.
Anything else to say there other than hopefully next week, I don't know, we get to see a little more animosity between Bryan and Miz?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess they've, like, the teams are announced so early that it
feels have to be, right? Raw seems like they were being a couple, laggarts and not announcing their full teams.
Yeah, but I like the intrigue of, well, who's going to make it next week? Like, I know we only have 2 weeks to go, but like SmackDown's team being announced, men and women, essentially, is just, okay, well now what?
Now we got to wait on who else makes the tag team roster.
Yeah, I suppose. And I guess maybe we see SmackDown invade Raw or Raw invade SmackDown because they do that.
I really hope they don't do that stupid invasion thing this time.
I don't disagree with you. The only one I would love to see happen is Becky. I would love to see Becky show up on Raw and just
that'd be great.
Take out Ronda from behind or something. I think that would be amazing. Or
let's try to get there, but first let's just talk about the tag teams. The Raw entire roster is to be announced. SmackDown after another great clash between these two teams, the Usos and the New Day.
Yeah, I'm okay with this.
3 other teams.
It's funny because I was like, okay, other than the Bar, who is going to be on this team?
I don't know. I'm assuming that maybe the Good Brothers can come back.
Oh yeah,
they're on SmackDown, right?
That's right. But who?
It'd be a good time for them to finally show their faces.
Who else is there? Sanity.
Oh, the Bludgeon Brothers are injured.
Yeah.
What, Steve? The Bludgeon Brothers are injured.
Oh God, Big Red. Oh, rest in peace, Big Red.
He's not dead.
He's still not dead.
No, the Bludgeon Brothers were the shit. What? They used to swing their hammers.
Is he
Are
crying?
You okay, Steve?
The Bludgeon Brothers were legit. They were fucking badasses because they had hammers. Big Red, rest in peace. Somebody drop a beat.
I'm not going to drop a beat.
I've never I've never seen him so upset.
He's really sad. He's so sad.
I'm trying not to laugh through the whole thing.
It's really sad.
It is. He's so emotional.
Oh, God damn. God, they really laid their shit in on my heart.
Yep. Gotta lay it in.
Yeah, I don't know. The Good Brothers, Sanity. Maybe they only go with 4 teams because it's lacking. I don't know.
Sanity. How about that? Nikki Cross showed up, too.
Yeah.
Actually, we're going to talk about that in a second.
Yeah. Let's wait for that.
So, by the way, I feel like every 6 months the Usos and the New Day have that same promo where it's like, hey, real recognize real, okay?
Yeah.
We've had some battles, okay, Us, but you're going to be our partners. We get it.
Yeah, I don't really understand why the Usos are captains and not New Day, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
Why not? Who cares?
It doesn't matter.
It's a match that doesn't. It's going to be fucking 20 people, and it's going to last 6 minutes.
That's
It's going to be one hell of a shit show. So, who cares?
Fair enough.
I was going to say something else here. Now I kind of forget. But
Wasn't
whatever.
important. You got too busy
I guess not.
paying attention to Steve crying his ass off in the background.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's inconsolable.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the good stuff. Champion versus champion. This is where the card really kind of gets good. Obviously the most important and the most buzzworthy match that there's ever going to be on this card is Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. Matt, who had the better promo?
It's so hard because I love Becky right now, but I feel like Ronda's promo was a little bit more. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It's good all around. It's tough. I'm kind of skirting the fence here, but I think Ronda's promo is a bit better, but I like Becky better. Does that make sense?
It's a really good sign that you can go either way on this.
Yeah,
Becky's
totally.
Was fantastic, and in my opinion, actually a total babyface promo. There's nothing Becky Lynch said
Very true.
that framed her as a bad guy.
Very
She's
true.
like, yeah, maybe I wasn't groomed to be a champion. Maybe, you put me down for all the stuff that I had to do to get here. It's like, yes, I wasn't supposed to be here, but here I am.
Yeah.
And she kept calling herself the
that
man.
was really good.
And talking about how, she's going to break her arm. And it's just like, it was a total babyface promo. It was 100% a good guy promo. So I don't know if they've shied away from her being an actual heel after that, showing at Evolution.
I just think
because
it's
we
not
haven't
gonna
really had a
happen.
chance to see it. Yeah, what the heel thing?
Yeah, it's just there's no way they can make her a heel. They tried, like in commentary, saying that she had a cult of fans following her, but
Yeah,
that lasted 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
I don't remember hearing it this time around. So
and she basically said I wasn't supposed to be, the talk of the business.
the
but
main event, yeah.
here it is. Listen to this. And it was just, I thought it was some really good stuff. And obviously she's got years of more practice
Yeah.
as far as promos go. Ronda did incredibly well for the amount of time that she's been here. I think you could see, like, it was a little awkward in some respects, but her delivery was pretty damn good. It was more just like a come out there and be angry and scowl and say things. But it was good.
Yes.
It was good.
It was. And I've been saying this since she started. The happy-go-lucky, smile in the ring Ronda seems so fake. But
True.
as soon as she turns it on and she turns aggressive, that's where she shines. And it doesn't seem like she's scripted. I really liked Ronda's promos. The stuff she was doing against Nikki as well was fire. If there's ever going to be a time that women are going to main event a pay-per-view, it's this one. And I know they're not going to, but when it's Becky Lynch, who's on top of the company right now, and Ronda Rousey,
so perfect.
it's the perfect time for it to happen. A month after Evolution, Brock Lesnar and AJ Styles will have no build-up. The rest of them will have no build-up. So this is... I know they're not going to do it, but man, this is the time to do it. Holy crap.
No, it would be fantastic. Kevin Mickey, shout out to Kevin.
I love you, Kevin.
Yes, we know you love Kevin. Kevin also, he turned to me, we were watching SmackDown, and he's like, is Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey going to main event Survivor Series? Because it feels like it. And he also said, mark his words, that Daniel Bryan and The Miz are going to be fighting for the WWE title at WrestleMania. So write it down, kids.
Yeah, okay with that. Can I just make an observation about Becky Lynch this week?
I mean, if you'd like to.
So obviously she has her I'm the Man shirt. It is a black T-shirt with very familiar block white letters.
Yes, it is.
It is the same font, if I'm not mistaken. And this week she didn't wrestle in her singlet. She wrestled in what appeared to be jean shorts.
Interesting.
I'm not saying that they're trying and they're like forcefully trying to make the comparison, but I might be saying that they're definitely not shying away from it.
They're not. Maybe she's embracing it a little bit.
Maybe. I'm
Becky Lynch. What? Becky Lynch. Oh, hell yeah. Becky Lynch the shit. Becky Lynch is the shit.
So
I guess Steve's on board too.
Steve likes Becky and apparently is giving her his entrance music. I
don't know, man.
Hey, there's another parody for you. Look
He's
at that.
He's really weird today.
Yeah.
He's really weird today.
Anyways, I was just throwing that out there, but Becky is the shit right now. Her social media game, her in-ring game, her mic skills, even just the look of smugness on her face when she walks out to her happy-go-lucky punk theme.
Yep.
It's just, she is straight fire, if
That's
you will.
the face I put on every time my pod intro comes on. I'm just like, let's go! And I'm like, fuck, let's fucking do this shit.
I am the man. I am meant to be here.
Yeah.
Anyways, we can move on from Becky and Ronda. But
if WWE didn't have to be so beholden to this PG thing, how great would it be to see the poster? Like a UFC-style poster and just be like, Ronda Rousey, the baddest bitch on the planet versus Becky Lynch, the man.
Which I also loved that Ronda referred to herself as the baddest bitch. Yeah. And then Becky's like, yeah, you may be the baddest bitch, but I'm going to make you mine. It's lines like that where it's just, there's no way they scripted that for her. That's Becky being Becky, I think.
Well, Becky being Becky, the best example of right now would be her making fun of Seth Rollins' firepants.
That too. Oh, man. That was so good. Like, she's going after the male wrestlers on Twitter. She's going after, it's just, like,
it's good.
It's, man, if there's ever a prototype character, this is it.
It's good to have a Becky Lynch to keep us
going
in these tough times because
it really is.
The rest of the show is largely a dumpster fire. Let's talk about AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar in a rematch that's going to go really under the radar and will probably be one of the better matches on the card because last year I actually really enjoyed that match. And I also remember the video package going into it being, well, phenomenal. I'm sorry for saying that.
Yeah, this one's actually interesting because obviously the WWE Championship always ends up second fiddle to Universal and Brock Lesnar. So if the women aren't going to headline, I mean, this is probably your main event, right?
I don't know. I guess so.
That's
another reason why it should be Becky versus Ronda.
Absolutely. It's
AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar just feels like it just kind of came out of nowhere. But I'm gonna try again. Okay, I'm gonna try again to beat you, Brock.
But I mean, can you really see WWE putting Brock Lesnar not in the main event?
Maybe
that's where I'm.
No, probably not.
My hands are tied. He's gonna close the show. So,
but hey, AJ Styles could be in a main event.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
actually, you know what? We're full of shit here because the main event of the evening at Survivor Series is going to be Team Raw versus Team SmackDown.
Oh yeah,
it won't be the title match. It wasn't last year. It wasn't the year before.
That's a good point.
No, the year before it was Brock and Goldberg, and it definitely was the end of the show. But I'm pretty sure last year they ended the show.
We were there.
Last year they ended the show with the Survivor Series match. Because we went off the air with like Triple H and Kurt Angle and Braun Strowman like choking out Triple H, and that went somewhere.
Yeah, but there's no build up for this one either. I still don't know how anything can top Becky and Ronda. I just can't. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. So am I. There's something interesting here though to talk about.
Becky Lynch, my mama main event. Oh hell yeah!
But you're just you've got all these. That's like 3 parodies you've come up with on this show.
Mm-hmm. Seth Rollins, who lost his tag titles on Monday, he lost my little tag necklace on Monday thing I got going on here. Is going to face Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, I mean they had to take the titles off him, so
that's fine.
It's fine that it's AOP.
Nakamura feels bad for Seth because his life is burning down, and Nakamura's going to snuff out the flames, I guess, and.
Yeah,
the United States of Knock America, whatever. I guess this just reminded me that Shinsuke is still in WWE. But really the most important thing that happened as far as Seth Rollins goes is he once again got attacked by Dean Ambrose, and we got a non-answer as to why he did it. And just another dirty deeds in another great use of Dean this week.
Yeah, nothing... oh, man. You know what? We're probably heading towards a Seth and Dean match at Survivor Series, so never mind. I was going to say, what if they're both
going to be
on
US
Team Raw?
versus Intercontinental?
Oh yeah, you're right.
They're going to have to hold off. Seth and Dean will have to happen.
It'll have to happen at Royal Rumble, likely.
It'll have to happen at Wrecking Ball or Great Nuts of Fire or something.
What's the December show?
I don't know. Forget.
TLC?
That sounds right.
Doesn't matter. Either way.
I think it's TLC.
It'll be a little bit before we see Dean and Seth actually,
excuse me,
I don't know, come together, which is just another reason why Seth and Nakamura just has no muster.
No, but it could be a sleeper, right? It could be one hell of a show.
It could be. And, I mean, let's be honest, Dean will probably interfere in that match. So, yeah.
Yeah. AOP versus The Bar. That'll be a good match.
Sure.
Got nothing else to say about it, but it'll be good. AOP also the tag champs now. So.
Yeah. Also, are they not
kind of a lackluster win?
Are they not the Authors of Pain anymore? Are they just AOP? Because they announced them as AOP, and then Michael Cole kept calling them AOP.
I don't know. I guess they got Cesaro'd.
Yeah.
They're no longer Antonio Cesaro. They're just Cesaro.
They're just AOP. Anyways.
I'm A-okay with that. Oh, shit. You need any parody ideas, I'll be right here all night, and that's about my.
Thanks, Steve. Let's talk about the rest. Ruby Riott breaks Jim Neidhart's glasses, and that's enough to stop a match.
This match has been stopped by crying.
Well, I mean, didn't they get a double count out? Wasn't that the idea?
I don't know.
Either way,
the crowd were counting. They were like, "What's happening? We're confused." Natty was sad,
but the ref
John
was
Cohn
crying.
was just like, "I'm so sad right now. I can't even referee."
Yeah. I don't know. Interesting angle. Maybe this is where we see Ruby kind of go on a bit of a singles push away from Riot Squad, and we'll see her and Natty. I don't know.
As much as I hate seeing these women together paired up right now because we've seen it so much, and when Alexa Bliss came out to announce the match and was like slowly announcing the competitors, I'm like, we know who it's going to be. She's like, and Sasha Banks. I'm like, no, we know it's the same three women that faced those three women last week. We get it. We're going to do this all over again.
They fought at Evolution. They fought at Raw last week. They're fighting again this week. Let's go.
I guess, yeah, exactly. But I guess the pairing I never really thought of coming out of this would be Ruby and Natalya.
Yeah, same.
Which is a pretty easy heel face dynamic. So I don't know. Let's do it. Let's use a prop like her dad's sunglasses, and we'll try to elicit some real reaction, and we'll move on. It's fine.
Yeah, I think they're still moving towards a women's tag team championship, and that's where Liv and Sarah Logan can kind of break off from Ruby, and Sasha Banks and Bayley can be up for that as well.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, Nia Jax and Tamina formed an alliance,
and I guess they're heel
teased
now
for a while. Yeah, and I guess Nia's heel because she's like, you know what? Let's just squash this Ember Moon chick. Who cares?
Yeah.
I'll just destroy this friend of mine.
Again, here's another women's tag team that could be legit forces for the belts. So
yeah, and their family and such.
And so on.
I guess Nia was upset that Ember Moon had challenged her a couple times in friendly competition and took it seriously and personally. I don't know.
It was weird, and I feel like Nia can't pull off character acting that much, unfortunately.
Well, if you want her to be heel, she just can't talk as much.
Yeah,
just be mean and scary.
I'm fine with her heel. It was just the way, I don't know, it's just the way she did it, and then she went to Happy Go Lucky after they squat. Anyways, it doesn't matter, but
no,
they could be a good
really
force.
Does.
They could be a fun force.
Sure. Lastly, we have to talk about Elias. Somehow I've avoided it this whole episode, but Elias is an unbelievably strong babyface right now.
It didn't take much, did it?
No, and everything he did on Monday was so perfect. Like, they just did little tweaks. Instead of him being interrupted and being annoyed, they just let him actually play a song. And the only people who are trying to interrupt him are the heels, like Dolph Ziggler. And you let him get a few digs in there at the guy in the ring instead of digs at the audience. You let him... Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, saying more positive things about the audience without actually commenting on the city, like the way bringing up Oasis rather than commenting.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's little things like that it's just so easy and
natural. If you play
natural.
this song, Oasis will reunite.
I was speaking with Noel last night. And
that was pretty funny stuff, man. Yeah. And it was so smart what he did. They were chanting, "Oh, walk with Elias,"
and then he played it,
and he plays the tune on his guitar, and then it just all of a sudden it swells to a much louder degree. Like, that's a pretty invaluable skill to have there, to just be a puppeteer like that with the audience, and it worked really well. And then they were behind him throughout the entire match. He got a win clean over Dolph Ziggler, so maybe Elias ends up being a guy on the team. It's like,
oh, maybe.
I beat one of the members of Team Raw clean. I should be on Team Raw.
I didn't even think
he's got no other feud. I mean, Lashley and Balor could have some crazy pre-match show or crappy pre-match show.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pre-card.
I feel bad for Balor right now, man.
Yeah, me too.
I just don't know where you put him. That's the problem.
No, neither did they.
Yeah, fair enough.
So anyway, we're both up on Elias.
Oh,
that's what WWE stands for, etc.
Yeah, he's been money since he came in, and he was a great heel, and he's already a great face, and it doesn't feel awkward.
No, it seems pretty organic. Like people want to love this guy, and it's working. And this is like 3 weeks removed from them booing the shit out of him and Kevin Owens to levels where they couldn't even finish their performance because they had that much heat. So good on him.
That was in Cleveland or something, right? Where
Seattle.
he brought up or Seattle.
The
that's
Supersonics.
Right. That's right. He brought up the Supersonics, and that was legit, like visceral heat that he had there. It was so good.
They didn't like that.
No, they did not like that.
Let's find out what our audience likes and didn't like. You know? Let's do just 2 tweets.
Oh, okay, cool.
The following segment was paid for by the ADCs of wrestling.
Hey, yo. This is just 2 tweets.
Two tweets.
All right, 2 tweet me, bro. Let's do this. I got a couple also going back to like last week because I'm not going to ignore your hard work and efforts and trying to get in touch with us. Mary Carr says Evolution was one of the best pay-per-views I've seen in a long time. Big props to the ladies for showing they can do it just as good as, if not better than the men. Charlotte Becky match of the year.
Yeah.
Hashtag Evolution was a pay-per-view. Yes, it was.
Agree
that almost
with
made
that.
me sad. Was a pay-per-view. Oh.
It'll be
The
back.
song is over. Yeah, it probably will be. Now that The Undertaker lives in your laundry room, this is from Gingy at Gingy Senpai, says, now that The Undertaker lives in your laundry room, how are his living arrangements? Are him and Steve getting along well? Do they have a bunk bed? We need details, ADC. Hashtag just 2 tweets. Yeah, no, that's it. They have bunk.
It's a bunk bed?
Yeah, it's a boiler bunk.
Like, does Undertaker at least have like... I'll let him answer.
Oh, God. Yeah, I'm still dealing with the grueling match I had in Saudi. Don't say it. In Riyadh. Yeah, there you go. In Riyadh.
Crown Jewel.
I had a grueling match in Crown Jewel.
Yeah, that's better.
I've fashioned a bunk. Out of a few Rubbermaid containers I found in your garage.
Nice.
And I sleep right above my brother Kane.
Wait, Kane lives
Kane's
there too?
there now? Dude, start charging rent.
I'd call him out, but you don't do his voice very well.
Yeah, that's true. I really don't.
Oh, shit. Hey, Taker, we still going to poker on Tuesday night? Maybe. I have water aerobics that day. I might be a little busy. Oh, okay, that's great. And that's the bottom line.
That's the safe way to exercise for an old fellow like him.
Yeah, so that's basically what's going on back there. That was a really good peek inside of my boiler room. Laundry room.
I pictured them in like the bunk beds where the top one's like a single bed and the bottom one's a twin bed.
Right.
Or sorry, a double bed so that, Taker can spread a little bit more because he's a little bigger. So
I've got long legs, ADC.
That's true. Yeah, he does.
He does.
Yeah. By the way, I might need some extra boarding space for a few of my creatures of the night.
I'm not down with that.
You got to start charging rent, man.
Yeah, I probably should.
Especially with that new mortgage you're looking at getting.
If Steve's not down with snow blowing, I might get Taker out there or something. He probably doesn't feel the cold. He is dead. He's cold. He's got no blood coursing through his veins. So. Andy at this is Andy says, do we think Becky versus Ronda is starting the setup for horsewomen versus horsewomen at WrestleMania, or is it too early for that? I don't think it's too early. I think that could happen at Mania.
I think after what we saw at Evolution, too, that Mania's really kind of the perfect time for something like that.
Yeah. I can see it.
It's far enough away. Obviously, they're putting
putting in work.
and Jessamine on TV. So, I mean... I think,
I know it's kind of a debut for those women, although they could show up weeks ahead, right?
Sure.
We could have a few attacks and have them do some stuff. But think of how well you could protect people in like an 8-woman tag match too, right? They don't have to do much.
Yeah, for sure.
They can tag in, do a couple highly scripted spots and tag out, and we don't have to see that much from them. It's not that difficult. So If you book it more, high spectacle and not high work rate, then it's totally doable. And I could see it happening. Maybe they planted those seeds.
It's very possible, and
watch it grow.
And that's plenty of time for Charlotte and Becky to make amends, I guess, as well.
We'll see how it goes with Becky versus Ronda, but I'm excited. I'm excited.
I'm excited.
Jim Martin at LaTouton says, question for the podcast. Yes, that's what Just Two Tweets is. Which angle has had the biggest impact on on the wrestling universe? My vote is for Bret Hart versus the USA from the late 90s. It turned all of Canada into Bizarro land, and that's something that's still true 22 years later.
There's only one that comes to mind that fully impacted wrestling and put it in the mainstream.
I feel like you're going to steal my thunder.
It's Stone Cold and Vince.
Okay. Yeah,
plain and simple.
That's the only goddamn answer, and that's the bottom line, because everybody says so.
True. I just feel like that was the timing of it. Just that's what made wrestling happen for a lot of people that weren't watching before and didn't know who Bret Hart was and didn't know what WCW was. And
why is Stephanie McMahon still on TV as the commissioner and viewed as evil? Because evil Vince McMahon, as an authority figure, became the only thing that we know how to do. There's always an evil authority figure now, and that's why.
And people
it changed wrestling
him.
forever.
People hated him.
And they've been trying to get that back ever since.
Absolutely.
It's changed everything forever.
Yeah.
It will forever be that.
But that being said, Bret Hart against the U.S. was pretty damn good in its own
fantastic.
right. Yeah.
If you wanted to give the country of the United States an enema, you'd stick the hose right up here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Hemiman at Jake Carr 2378 says, is anyone's Twitter game better than Becky Lynch right now?
No.
Hashtag the man.
No. Short answer, no.
The correct answer is absolutely not. Andy again says, between Ronda and Seth, Becky's Twitter dunking on everyone is my favorite thing in wrestling right now. Hashtag straight fire pants.
Agree. Oh, that's good. That's good. Straight fire pants.
Straight fire pants. God, that hurts. There's one for our boy Joe making his return. He says, 1, is the podcast over?
Yes.
Well, we're here, so yes, it's over. 2, do you think they'll utilize Nikki Cross properly? We barely really talked about Nikki.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, play with Nikki. Play with Nikki.
I liked it. I don't think she's done in NXT. I think this was just because it was in the UK. But
I can see that.
It could be, we did see Asuka get called up and then do a few matches in NXT, same with Bayley. So this could be her call up. If anything, I hope it helps Sanity get into the picture more often.
I think she's up on the main roster. I think the fact that they brought her out with Sanity when she's been so far removed from them since they came up to the main roster is a way of saying, okay, we're going to try this whole Sanity thing again. We're going to try to make them a unit once again and make them strong. So I'm thinking she might actually be on the roster now.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. She does have a feud in NXT right now with Bianca Belair, but a lot of that could be filmed already, so it's hard to say.
The feudist. I guess if they're pairing her with Sanity, it could help them because they can't really fall any further. So.
Fair enough. They were on TV this week, so...
Yeah, I remembered that they exist. Maybe Sanity is going to be one of the tag teams involved in that match somehow.
I already said that.
Yeah, well.
He doesn't listen to you, kid. He's always moving on to the next thing.
It's so true. It's so true.
I really don't. I'm always one step ahead, Matt.
So here's number 3 from Joe. You ever going to have another epic Rusev remix like back in April?
Bury Me Softly?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Unfortunately, Rusev not even getting a look for the SmackDown team. He's having some fun on Twitter lately, but I feel like I've done 6 Rusev songs, and I'm kind of drained a little dry as far as Rusev humor goes. But maybe I'll matchka another one at some point. I don't know.
He's got to be important again, unfortunately, and right now he's just not.
Yeah. Raider Max, Foundation member, says, welcome back, guys. Thanks, man. We got some fantasy matches for you guys to pick from. Going intergender matches this time. Okay. Lynch versus Rollins, Charlotte versus AJ, Ambrose versus Asuka, or Nikki Cross versus Lio Rush. Well, I'll say this right off the bat. I don't really care for intergender wrestling. I've never been a fan. But having said that, before you step all over my point there, Maddie.
Nope, I'm good.
The only correct answer here is Lynch versus Rollins because we have to see a fire pants feud.
Yeah. I was going to say the same. I have no issues with intergender wrestling. Like, I don't think that it shouldn't happen because women can't beat up men or anything like that. I'm just not a fan of it because there's no. It's not something that will continue to happen and be a real storyline. So
you're so chauvinist.
Sure.
Anyway.
But agree with you. Lynch versus Rollins would definitely be my pick.
Too early for turkey puns at Mill Heats. Matt Hill tweets, says, I'm calling Sisters of Samoa interference in that Becky and Ronda match. That would make me so angry. Why would you waste that match with Tamina? This adds some heat to Nia's title match, and it would also leave room for a rematch with a decisive winner down the line. I get it. I get what he's saying. That's the one tough thing about this champion versus champion dynamic they have at Survivor Series is that one of them has to lose or they have to figure out some bullshit way to get out of it.
Yeah.
So I get it, but fuck would I be upset if Tamina was part of that main event
But here's the other thing, too. Like, I think we have to be okay with Becky losing clean to Ronda.
You have to be okay with it.
But I would also be okay with Becky winning by an interference of Nia and Ronda losing. I just don't think they're ready to let Ronda lose yet, even in a mean-nothing champion versus champion match. I also don't think...
When you think about it, though, on Raw, they have to go somewhere with with Ronda after that match, so maybe, I don't know, maybe Nia Jax is the one.
Maybe she jumps her after. I don't know. I just... Seeing her pair up with Tamina this week, I feel like they're going towards more of that tag team area rather than having Nia win the belt back.
And there's an Ember Moon situation that still needs to be dealt with.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Jordan Alexander at Introvert1, I think this is somebody new. Thanks for tweeting us. Says, do you think WWE missed an opportunity to put the Universal Championship on Rollins following his arguably hottest run in the company during the summer? I mean, it would have worked really well. He did more with the IC title in the interim than anybody could have.
Yeah.
Aside from maybe The Miz, because he did great with it as well. But, yeah, I mean, it certainly feels like Seth is the guy, and I wish they could get the title on him soon, but maybe that's where we go with the Drew McIntyre title reign. Maybe you get Seth Rollins back in the picture, and those two can slug it out. Or Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins going after the title at some point would be a possibility. But missed the boat. I don't know.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say they missed the boat because it was on Roman, right? Like, it's an unfortunate circumstance that they had to change the script a little bit. And now Brock Lesnar back, and it sounds like he's actually got a pretty sweet deal where he's going to wrestle once a month. So it just, I don't know if they missed the boat because they had a pretty good story going with Roman. So,
and it's tough because Seth is such an over popular guy, just like Braun Strowman, that you don't want to just rush it and give it to him on this terrible show in Saudi Arabia that everybody's crapping all over, and then have him somehow start like a really unenthusiastic title run out of nowhere. So I don't know. That's a tough one. Austin Metzger, another new tweeter, says, I'm glad I didn't watch Crown Jewel as soon as I looked at the results. Hashtag just two tweets.
Honestly, I don't feel like I missed anything.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
King of Chill Style says, finally, the King of Chill Style has come back to just two tweets. But in all seriousness, thoughts on Drew seeming to get a big push now with his win over a superstar like Kurt? Could he be the next top guy for the company and possibly take the title from Lesnar? Unfortunately, we totally blew your spot there.
Sorry. But, I mean, if you listen, then yes, we totally believe that this is a big push for Drew.
I don't think that's what they were saying at all. They're saying a bunch of bullshit. Something else.
Oh, Steve.
They're saying Drew doesn't know whether to shit or wind his watch. He doesn't know a wristwatch from a wrist lock, and that's the bottom line.
I don't think you've been listening. The Dude player at Flame Boy. He told me to say it like Kratos. Says, am I the only one who thinks you guys shouldn't get all political because talking about politics and then having a parody on the same show just doesn't fit? Hashtag just tweets. Well, you know what? That's true. And that's why it was so damn awkward to do a show going into Crown Jewel. And that's why I shied away from doing one last week.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Point taken.
Right. No, it's true. Anybody else agree? I think it's tough to be political when we're trying to have fun. But that's also kind of what makes it hard to do like a WWE show right now because they keep doing the wrong thing.
It's also really hard to ignore some like very glaring things that happen in the world.
Yeah, people getting murdered and then doing a show there is just like kind of weird.
Yeah.
Our boy Duran had a couple tweets for us too, saying, first of all, can we just say Evolution was the sleeper show of the year? I think so.
Yep.
And also, do you think it should be an annual thing?
Yep.
Matt, you said so.
I think so. Why not? Can't hurt, right? It was awesome.
Maybe next year it's just called Evolved. You know, like they're not evolving.
Evolution 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Evolution 2 evolved.
Just doubling down on that, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
All right.
And he also says, do you think Braun Strowman is Ryback 2.0 by being a super hot babyface that WWE was too scared to pull the trigger on?
No, I think they want him to be like a big part of their show. I think the reports about him being injured are legit and why he isn't holding the big red belt right now. So,
and he's got so much more charisma than Ryback.
Totally.
All Ryback had was like, feed me more, feed me more. That's all Ryback was.
Okay, sure.
He had Paul Heyman, then he was like, thanks, Paul. Feed me more. And that was it.
Yeah.
And he had like 3 moves, and I don't know. He never threw a chair at Roman Reigns' head, okay?
Oh, that's still just such a great spot.
He injured CM Punk, and we heard a lot about it. A lot. But other than that, he was just like, feed me more. Which isn't really as good as Get These Hands, but it's pretty similar.
I mean, it's pretty close. Now that you've said it, it's...
Get these hands and feed me more.
No, but he actually says, get these hands.
No, he doesn't.
He pauses.
Oh, Strowman?
Yeah. He pauses, kind of like the feed me. Anyways.
Matt, you're about to get these hands. Where is Corbin? Ow, 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 ow. You all right, Braun? I got a couple knee braces laying around.
He would have knee braces.
He would.
Around.
2 of them.
Yeah. Well, that's it for this week, I think.
Yeah.
You know what? Don't subscribe. Don't leave a review on iTunes. Fuck it. We don't deserve it. We show up when we feel like it. So don't.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
If you want to swear at us, we're on Twitter at ADCs of Wrestling. He's at Matt the Marquist. I'm at Andrew David Cox. And there's also a YouTube channel that's no longer got the word Cox on it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
That was a cool development that happened.
I'm so happy that now I can not upload videos to a channel with the correct name.
Fair enough.
That's a pretty negative way to end the show. See you next week. Ball game.
Peace.
Becky Lynch. What? Becky Lynch. Oh, hell yeah.